Alright, so I had to replace the halyard on my flagpole, the rope, and I wanted to put a new one up and change the hooks and the hook covers. So I thought I'd show you what I did to do that. Now I thought it was easier to show you after the fact, because when you're out there working on that, I just to have you and have the camera on a tripod and stuff, I just thought that I could do just as an effective job once it was done. So what we have here is the actual rope. Here's the new side. Okay, and this is the actual piece that I used when I pulled it through. Here's the old rope, and I cauterized the ends on them here. And so I'm going to take this apart and show you how I put these two pieces together. So I used the new rope to pull the old rope through the pulley. Now before I go any further, I want you to imagine that this piece of PVC pipe is the flagpole. And the ground is right here, okay, to the bottom of the screen. And this is your new piece of rope that you want attached to this, which is your old one. But before we do this, as you know, you're going to have one continuous rope, and you've got to cut that rope so you can take one end of it, and here's your new, and attach it to the old and bring it through. Now my fear was, when I do this, if something happened, you still have clips and stuff that these clips are heavy, and you're going to have two of them. So I didn't want something to pull up and pull out of the pulley. So I'm going to show you what I did before I even cut the old rope, how I handled that. Alright, this is an item from Night Eyes. It's like a heavy duty, you can get these at, I've seen them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Bass Pro. I'm sure a lot of places sell them. They sell Night Eyes products. And this is like a heavy duty, you can get them in different lengths. And so what I did, since I liked it, it's a rubberized, it's rubberized with the steel underneath, metal, so you can use it to tie things down. So the beauty of this is I use this on the pole, and if you can imagine, you've got the rope that's coming down like this. This will be your rope. So I gathered enough of it to give me enough here, and then what I did is I would tie this around the pole like that, then bring this up through like this, and again tie it off somewhat like this. So now what you have is you're going to have the end that you're going to cut. It hasn't been cut yet of the old rope, and so that will ensure that this won't pull and you could lose anything in the process. This kind of anchors it to the pole. Alright, so what I did then, here's your old rope, is I cut it. Before I did anything else, I cauterized both ends. I just took a match. You could use a lighter or anything, so that way the end wouldn't fray. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit first here about the rope. So I bought this rope at a local flag shop, and I was told that it is marine grade poly or polypropylene, and you want to make sure that it is braided and not twisted. So if you buy it at a flag shop, it should be braided. Now to show you the difference between braided and twisted, this is braided. You can see how it's interlocked together. And if I twist it, it doesn't come undone. See how I'm twisting it? It will not come undone. Whereas this is some twisted rope that I have at the house, so I thought I'd show you a different material, but it's twisted. So now look what happens when I turn it back and forth. One way you'll tighten it, the other way it loosens. So see, I'm turning it one way and it tightens if you're going with the flow, or with the direction of the twist. And look how that undoes. So anyways, I just thought I'd show you that if you weren't aware, if you were buying this at a hardware somewhere, to make sure you know what you're looking for. Now I bought 50 feet of rope, 1/4 inch diameter. Now if you're not sure what you need, all you have to do is tape like one of those nylon tape measures that you can get. They're like a fiberglass thin material, or you could just use a tape measure, regular ruler, and tape it to the string, the rope, and then hoist it up to the top. And when it gets to the top of the pole, pull your rope taut and just measure what that length is from where it reaches the top of the pulley down to the where the bottom of the rope is when you pull it tight, where it loops down at the bottom, and then you just double that, and that'll be determine what you'll need. Doesn't hurt to have more. You can always get a little bit more. I'd rather have more than not enough. Let me touch on one other thing. What I did is, I don't know, the way I did mine is when I put my new rope up, I got more than what I needed. So I brought it down to the ground. So I actually have the length of the rope is where it rounds up at the top of the pulley. Pull the two opened ends that you have here, put them together, and bring them right down to the ground, right actually to the ground level. So you're actually getting from the top of the pulley to the exposed length of the pole to the ground. And then I cut it off. The excess I cut off. So that's how I did mine. I actually have mine the full length of the pole, from top to the actual ground surface, the exposed length of the flagpole. Alright, so I've undone this just for this to show you, but make sure that you have enough. Okay, for the video I just had a little bit here to show, but I make sure that I have several feet, okay, that are pulled and anchored like you saw. Okay, so now let me move that. So the next step is, once you have the two ends, let me bring this end in to show. So once you have the two ends like this, okay, and again they're going to be anchored on the pole the way I showed you, the next thing you want to do is bring in your new piece, and you want to splice it to one side of the old. Alright, so let me show you what I did now to attach these two. So these are the actual pieces of the rope again that I use, and we're going to pretend, okay, like I showed you earlier, we're going to pretend that everything's been anchored and you haven't undone this, just for the safety purpose of making sure that the rope doesn't go anywhere and doesn't fly up and, you know, pull out of that pulley up above. So with that in mind, I'm going to undo this. So I'll just go in reverse here. So the reason for the electrical tape is to keep the metal. Now let me make sure this will come off. The reason I have this tape on here was to protect, I guess it's on here so well it won't come apart. There it is. I wanted to make sure that the metal I used inside here was not going to get caught on the pulley. So see that metal that I used? So that's the only reason for this, was to ensure that as I pulled this through, okay, when I pulled down on the rope, that would bring the old rope up, pulling the new rope that I have here up through the pulley. I didn't want any of these ends that I have bent over to get caught. So by taping that off and pushing it down, it just ensured that. So as you can see, I basically, I'll pull this up. Used wire that I had and forced it through the braiding of both pieces so that they were pretty much a butt joint like that, end to end, and then just pushed it down on both sides and then taped it off. Okay, so this is some wire, a spool of wire that I had at the house, and let me just see what the mic's at. About 62 thousandths. So that's what I elected to use, was that wire. Now if you wanted to, you could use a paper clip. This large clip that I got here, particular one, is 41 thousandths in diameter. You could just bend that up and use it if you wanted to. Now one of the things I did do when this was together is I pre-arched it just a little bit so that when it got up to the pulley, as this was going up to the pulley, it already would be arched just a little bit, and I had to give that just a little extra tug. It wouldn't go through there. I had to give it just an extra tug. So again, that's the reason why I had that tape around there, just to keep these down and so that this side wouldn't pop up. You know, one of the trailing side here wouldn't hit and cause it to stick or anything. So, but I just pre-arched it just a little bit like that. Went through, had absolutely no issues. So now the new rope is through there, and I took about a foot or so of it. Being that I had enough of it, I wasn't going to worry too much. I'll try to. So what I did is, as I wrapped this around, tied it like this. Have about a foot. Then on the one side, I looped it around a couple times. Then I pulled this end through, and again, for the purposes of showing this, I had extra length here. I wanted to make sure, you know, because you can always cut off and re-cauterize an end. Then over here, I wrapped it around twice. And I give me a little bit more here. It's kind of hard to do this on the video, and so I wrapped it around twice. And then I did the same thing, put that end underneath the two loops. You pull that, and you pull that. Okay, so you've got that, and then you just pull them together. And then as you pull tight, I'm not going to do this tight because I want to take this apart. But as you pull this tight, I mean, you just pull on that, it self-tightens. It's not going anywhere. Okay? And then, when I got that, obviously, you know, if it was too long, because I wanted to make sure I had enough, I just cut it off, re-cauterize your ends. If you want to, you know, about 3 inches is all you need. You're 3 inches I think, and then was what I had. Then I took white tape, electrical tape, so it wouldn't be too visible, and I wrapped it just from the knot over, just to keep this together. And I just taped it up on both sides from the knot over to the end, just to keep that. And then that's what you have. That is what's going to join that new wire, that new rope together. So now it's time to put your snap hook and snap hook cover on to the rope. Now the ones that I have here are about 3 inches long. By the way, this rope and the hook, okay, the snap hook, are original to this setup. They have been outside since the summer of 1990. So that's, and this thing, it sticks a little bit, doesn't work quite as finesse, but you know what, look at that. 1990. It's got a little bit of wear here, but Tells you a lot. And the rope, so one can only hope that the new one will hold up this long. So just thought I'd mention that. But if you're going to put up new rope, definitely want to put up the new fasteners. Alright guys, this is the easy part. So now your rope's, it's on the pole, it's all completed. It's been joined together. To put your first one on, take and pinch it like that. Bring it through the cover. Then bring this through like this. Then just bring it around like that. And I bring it down here. And that's it. And then you can put your cover over it. And then what I do is, once this has been out a while, that'll take a set and it'll stay. In the beginning it's going to be a little, it'll want to move a little bit. Once that's been out, it won't come apart. It won't want to, do this as much. And then for the other one, what I do is I'll measure the distance between the eyelets, and I'll add the length of these so that way the distance from here to the next thing like this is going to be the distance between the center lines of the hook plus a little bit extra, because about this much more, so that way when it's on the flag, it's pulling the flag, and so it's not just drooping, it's it kind of pulls it. And the beauty of this is, once you have one on, you can put your cover on and then just adjust the other one. Pull this up and adjust it till you get it where you want it. So it's real simple.